Wow. It seems like there's been some cheating going on within the world of Formula One this season from some of the big teams, or in particular, perhaps just one of those big teams, because today the FIA have updated their 2024 technical regulations. And these changes will come into effect from the Zandvoort GP at the end of July, which is highly irregular for them to do in season. And it's all to do with a particular thing when it comes to the brakes of the Formula One cars which have been used this year. And it may also explain the team I believe this has been affecting this season, because they haven't run a race in the last 4 Grand Prix. And of course, I am talking about the Red Bull Racing outfit. Now, it may not come as a surprise, or maybe it does. So what this is all surrounding is there's been an additional sentence added to the technical regulations in Article 11, which is all to do with the braking systems on Formula One cars this season, which has been highlighted in pink. And what it says is that any system or mechanism which can produce systematic or intentionally asymmetric braking torques for a given axle is forbidden. Before we get into the video any further, I'm really close to the 5,000 subscriber mark here on the channel, and I would love to reach that within the next month or so. So if you enjoy the content and want to be the first to know about secrets within the world of Formula One, such as Mercedes' upgraded suspension introduced in Austria, which I covered a whole 2 weeks before the F1 channel covered it, I might add, subscribe to this channel now. Now, this is what I've been talking about earlier in this video, and it's something that you don't see very often, if at all, during a Formula One season, to have the technical regulations updated or additional pieces of subtext written into the article. Now, of course, as I've mentioned, I think this is all to do with the Red Bull outfit and something that they've been doing with their braking system on the RB20. And if you cast your mind back to the Hungarian Grand Prix weekend, I can remember there was a tweet going around over on Twitter from which there was some audio from another Formula One kind of broadcasting partner, and they were speaking about how they had information about a certain team, being Red Bull, that have been told to take a certain thing off of their cars, and this is the reason behind the downturn in their performance and not winning a race in the last 4 race weekends. And now with this technical update being put into the technical regulations, this could kind of become a plausible avenue from which you could get into a situation that you'd believe all of these rumours that had been circulating prior to yesterday. Now, this isn't the first time a certain sort of braking system has been banned in the midway point of a Formula One season. Previously, McLaren's 1997 brake steer system allowed for such adjustments by applying different braking forces to the rear wheels to aid in cornering. And when they were found out to be utilizing such a device on their car, the FIA moved all the way back then, over 20 years ago, to ban it from the system, and this left the McLaren team with a little bit of a deficit, although they did go on to win the championships for the next 3 seasons up until the year 2000. And with this move by the FIA being to amend the regulations instead of issuing a technical directive, suggests that a top team, as I've been thinking it's the Red Bull outfit, have been exploiting such systems, which has prompted the FIA to clarify the rules and prevent potential exploitation for the remainder of the season. And of course, the proof is in the pudding when you look and take a comparison of Verstappen's first and last wins this season. He had a comfortable 25-second advantage over Charles Leclerc in Bahrain. Now compare that to his last win in Spain, when he finished just ahead by 2.2 seconds to that of Lando Norris. And of course, since then he's not even run a race, and that to me clearly indicates that they've been told to take something off of their car, which is now namely thanks to us seeing that they've introduced this new wording into the technical regulations for this season. So of course we have to very briefly go over what the brake systems are on the Formula One cars and what they do, And what this tightening up of the technical regulations is implying the teams were trying, if not already doing, with their brake systems this season. So, as is well known, Formula 1 cars are currently able to adjust the braking balance between the front and rear axles. So of course this is the brake balance that you hear teams and drivers respectively move either rearwards or forwards with regards to their particular liking in a certain corner. And thus this allocates a greater pressure exerted on the brake pedal and consequently braking torque to the wheels, and namely to one of the two axles, but not to a single wheel in particular. But as I said earlier, in the past there are those that managed to come up with solutions which would allow one wheel on the same axle to brake more than the other one. And we're talking of course about McLaren's brake steer system. So it seems like a team or teams have been either one, trying to introduce something like that onto their cars, or two, they already have and the FIA have moved to make sure they have to take it off for the remainder of the season. So it's really interesting to see this come to light over the last day or two, and to see how this is going to play out across the remainder of the Formula 1 season, because if we start to see a trend emerging within the Formula 1 kind of pecking order, then we can say for certain a team was utilizing a system of some sort of degree. Or if there is no kind of change and we see the kind of up and down yo-yo in terms of the pecking order from race to race, that to me would then suggest that no team actually had something on their systems within their car, and perhaps were actually just trying to introduce something later on in the season. But either way, it's a really interesting thing to see that the FIA had kind of taken preemptive strikes here within their technical regulations to make sure they closed off a certain loophole with regards to this system, because it could potentially give a Formula 1 outfit a vital advantage when we're looking at one of the closest seasons now within the last 3 or 4 years as regards to the ground effect era. And then this was of course mean that no team gets a lasting advantage as a result, and we can continue to expect to see all of the kind of close fought races like we had last time out in Spa as we head into the second half of the season after the summer shutdown has finished, starting off in Zandvoort, which I think could throw up a extremely exciting weekend given where all the teams currently are within their performance windows. Right everyone, I'm going to end the video here. I hope you've all enjoyed it and that you've learned something new that you haven't seen on any other Formula 1 channel this week so far. If of course you've enjoyed the video, do leave a like on here, and if you're new, consider subscribing to the channel for more breakdowns and latest and greatest hidden gems that I've unearthed. Right everyone, I'll catch you all later in another Formula 1 video this week.